Hey, good morning, everyone. You are with Tom from Ludicrous Feed. Thank you so much for joining us this morning from a very gloomy and overcast Sydney, just looking outside my window. This morning, the 25th of November 2023. I hope you're all doing well this morning, and thank you so much for joining us on the live stream. As we kick off, let's say good morning to our friend and regular guest, Riz from Carloop. Hello, Riz. How are you this morning?
Hey Tom, going well. Joining everyone from Marola. So it's got a few party tricks. As you can
Oh,
see, it's mine. You just have to think about something and it just does it. Um, amazing technology straight out of the UK.
I can't keep up with you, Riz. I'm not sure whether it's the roller or the caddy or the Merc. I mean, there's so much going on with you.
Well, that's right. There's a lot happening in the electric world, and I'm trying to experience the most luxury side of it at the moment.
Good, good. All right, Riz, you do the luxury. I'll try and do the mid-range budget for everyone else. That's fine. We'll keep
We're,
it
we're,
all
keep,
together.
we're keeping everyone in the loop as to what's going
Uh,
on.
exactly. We'll keep everyone happy. All right. Well, let's say thank you to our sponsors this morning. As always, we've got Carloop. Thank you, Riz, as always, for sponsoring. We've got Wallbox doing wall connectors, and also Evee doing EV electric vehicle car sharing. So if you want some nice discount codes for Wallbox and Evee, check out our video description. As always, thank you, sponsors. All right, so yeah, Riz, we've got a few things to talk about, but just a shout out to our audience. If anybody has any news you want to chat about this morning, just pop it in the live stream chat, and we'll get to it later on during the stream. And also, welcome to everyone else watching on replay as well. Thanks for joining us. Leave a comment too, and also listening to us on audio podcast. Thanks so much for letting us into your car, or wherever it might be in the world. So thank you so much. 62 viewers at 8:06 a.m. Thank you, everyone. We've got Tassie Evie1 saying good morning, and he says, I can't make the show live, but we're watching replay due to beekeeping commitments. Wow, beekeeper. Looking forward to my Kona EV review on the 1st of December when embargo lifts, including pricing. Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you as well next week. Got Rob watching from Adelaide, Jim from Tassie, hello Wayne from Toowoomba. Nice to see some regular viewers too join the chat every week. It's so good. We've got
That's right. Just commitment.
that's it, especially on a Saturday morning. Jace watching from rainy North Tasmania. Glad to receive it. Things have been drying out. Yep, definitely. Ahead of a warm summer. Yeah, we've got Mark from Melbourne, John from Brisbane. Hello, Gaffer, watching us from Nashville. Graham from Shepparton. Oh, sultry Shepparton. Nice words. Elizabeth watching from an overcast Northern Rivers in New South Wales. We've got BYD owners from the Gold Coast. Hello there. SWS watching from New Beith in Queensland. Jerry Can, as usual, from Adelaide. Hal from Terrigal, New South Wales. Gene from South Wet Sydney. Nice one. And yeah, we've got Mart from, saying good morning, hello. And Cuboid Grove watching from Stanthorpe. Taking our new Model Y on his first rural trip. Fantastic. Good. Excellent. And Cindy Rowe watching, or Ray watching from Lake Macquarie, New South Wales. Robin Jules. Hello, Robin Jules. And yeah, SWS says, Riz should have borrowed my NASA headset. Next time I see you, I'll give it to you, Riz. Code for victory, yeah. Wonder FSD is the best chance for Australia to get FSD, or we always lag behind. Yeah, Riz, let's spend a bit of time around this topic here. We know that the Tesla manual has switched wording recently to include the FSD element of it into like manuals worldwide, not just the US and Canada. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know when Tesla's going to drop FSD into Australia. We know they've been doing some testing for ADAS around our roads in Victoria and New South Wales. Any more thoughts to share on that, Riz?
Well, a couple of things. So obviously FSD 12, it's already released in the US now. I think it happened overnight for employees and others. So Tesla's, really starting to ramp this up with the driver assistance and data collection that they've been doing over the last, what is it? I think since July. And it was sort of a 3 or 4 month stint that they were going to do that in. They must have evaluated a lot of the results now, and it's starting to get closer. There's obviously rumors as well that even in China, FSD is making its way very shortly. So I guess it's only a matter of time. Even if it's in its beta state, where people have some restrictions that can access it. Those that are paid for it should start to get a glimpse of what Tesla's been working on in the US.
Yes, that's right, Riz. We see here in this article from Not a Tesla App that it's being rolled out to employees with update 2023.38.10. So yeah, it looks like they're, as usual, doing their Tesla things and updating the code. And here we go. FSD 12 is the update that is expected to remove beta from the title. So this is the sort of public release, hopefully. So we'll see, guys. I don't know. I mean, signs are good. Testing's done here. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, we've always been promised 2 weeks, right? Just as a running joke. But I mean, this could be it. This could be real. If not 2 weeks, then very soon. I mean, we know that Riz, every Christmas they release this holiday update around sort of close to Christmas time in December. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it might be too soon to release it like fleet wide. In stages and batches just to make sure it's right for the first couple of releases. Thoughts on that? Do you think it'll be a worldwide release or do you think it'll just be in stages again?
I think it'd be in stages. I mean, the other big thing is, we're a right-hand drive market. So whether UK, if we see any progress, it could be rolled out there earlier. I mean, there's way before these jobs came up in June, July, to do FSD training or ADAS sort of driver assistance data collection. There were rumors that UK already had cars running around being tested by Tesla employees. So then, if that happened a lot earlier, then maybe they'll get it before us. And it's a bit of a learning curve, for the drivers as well. So I'd say it would be staged.
Yep, no, I agree with you. I've never seen any updates since I got my Tesla to be released, like fleet wide. It's always been in batches. And I get people complaining to me saying, "Why haven't I got mine? You've got yours." I, by the way, don't get any favorable treatment from that point of view from my Teslas. It's just I'm just one a number like everyone else. So that's one thing good about Tesla.
We know there's only one man in this country that gets favorable treatment by Tesla, and it's the one and only, the mayor of Nashville.
That's
Nash,
right.
Tesla from the gong himself.
That's right. Direct plumb line to Elon on X. Yep, that's right. But not me, definitely. Just like you guys, we're just doing our bit. Speaking of which, somebody asked me. Here we go. So Gary Allen asks, any update on delivery times for the new Model 3? I figure you would be the best person to know. Well, I'm not actually. I'm still getting January to March for the Model 3 order that I have at the moment, and I suspect that probably won't change as we head into the end stages of 2023. Riz has got his running shoes on as always, so he'll keep you informed from that point of view, but nothing from my end.
Well, I'm camping outside Tesla here in Melbourne, in my Spectre, just keeping an eye out. So at the moment, all I see is rows of the older Model 3s and Model Ys. I haven't even seen believe it or not, I haven't seen a Model 3 Highland in real life, and that's why Gary's asking. Tom, you have?
Yeah, that's true. I have. I saw it this week. Of course, we covered that very much on Wednesday. So have a look at my video, which is doing well. A lot of people are wanting to see what the Model 3 Highland is like. As I said, I was a bit skeptical going into it, thinking surely it's only a mid-cycle update, won't be that much better. But yeah, if this is your first Tesla, you'll be very impressed. And even if this is your, I don't know, you want to update from an old Tesla, it's certainly a step up in terms of how premium it feels. And of course, the safety features have been boosted up as well, particularly that side impact protection with a stiffer door too. Everything feels more premium. The doors feel nicer to close, and the screen's nicer as well, a bit closer to the edge, less bezels. I haven't driven it yet, so I've got a loan car coming on Monday, so stay tuned. I'll try and release a video on Monday night, cataloging my experience. So stay tuned, everyone. All right, well, let's say hello to some more viewers at the moment. We've got Kiwi from New Zealand. Oh, nice name for Kiwi. We've got Code Victory morning from the Gold Coast. Get me out of your too many schoolies. Yeah, of course, this time of year. Yeah, they'd all be up there, right? Good luck. That's why I try and avoid the Gold Coast at this time. John Myers watching from Kempsey. Dan asks a good question. Has Tesla Model 3 Highland fixed the smell problem of the superseded Model 3? I believe it was accumulation of water in the filters. Well, I can answer that for you because my 2023 Model 3, which I've just sold, that definitely didn't have a smell, and it rained quite a bit too, a little bit this year. So the old Model 3, yes, definitely had to change the filter a couple of times. The smell did accumulate; it was pretty bad, like a foot smell. But this year, the Model 3 was fine. So I think they fixed the problem.
It's funny because my 2020 Model 3, I've never had that issue and haven't had it in the 2021 model that I have as well. And
Hmm.
22 and 23s came out of Shanghai and there haven't been any real issues with those either. So, yeah, I think they must have fixed it during sort of the, all the incremental changes that they make.
Yep,
So, yeah,
I agree. Yep, and Jasper says they fixed the problem. Sounds like Robert watching from Lower Blue Mountains received our second Atto 3. Wow,
uh,
the Atto 3 family times two. How good's that? Congratulations. And Peter says hello from, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Noarlunga Downs from South Australia. Welcome. Okay, so Kenny Obi, no dumb questions, by the way, everyone. People talk about number of cycles for various battery types. What is the definition of a cycle? One full charge, or do half charges equal one full one, etc.? Well, I know, having read about batteries and computers and laptops and phones, just having a look at my warranty from previous years, I know that they count a cycle as basically a full charge all the way to discharge and all the way back up to full charge again. So that counts as one cycle for a laptop battery. I don't know whether it translates over to a car battery or a traction battery. I would assume so. If so, then that's quite a lot of use when they warrant that for X number of cycles, right? Riz, any insight on that?
no, I guess I've heard things along the lines of LFP packs having, up to 3,000 cycles. Um, for anyone, 3,000, if you charge it nearly every day, that's like over 10 years. Um, but yeah, I think degradation is not really um, a big thing anymore. The battery management systems are far too good, and it only has one job, which is to keep the battery at a reasonable temperature, so we don't have any, let's say, major shifts in degradation. So, fingers crossed, it's still a new space, and hopefully, there's more research done on what do those cycles mean. And I'm hoping that manufacturers start to put some of this, dumb it down for everyday EV owners, and explain what all of this stuff means. So
Mm.
hopefully we'll get to see a bit more from Tesla and BYD on what does a cycle look like in their terms.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, just back to laptops again, it's not necessarily all one go. So it's like accumulation of a charge and discharge. So yeah, I agree, Riz. I think we need more education from the OEMs and the new companies too, as part of their advertising moving forward. There's just so much misinformation out there. Um, we just need that sorted, quick, smart. We need to transition quickly. Yeah, SWS, let's chat about this as well. I see some people have been getting emails saying their BYD seal are ready. Okay, I'll be checking my email, fingers crossed I am in the early delivery. So, Riz, I think you wrote an article about this in The Driven.
Yeah, I did. So this week a lot has changed, from thinking that it was going to be around Christmas to all of a sudden there's cars at the port in Brisbane. That happened, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, was spotted by someone and shared on Facebook. Um, and now, literally the next day, people are starting to receive emails to say, hey, get ready, we're about to deliver your car. And the last I saw, even someone in Toowoomba got an update to say it'll be ready for pickup on Wednesday next week.
Wow. Okay, that's quite soon. Like, that is definitely December. So hats off to BYD for delivering what they promised. I know that there were a few cars ready for employees of BYD. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it would be also for customers as well. Because when was the launch? It was late October, wasn't it, from memory?
Yeah, it was sort of, I think, 17th of October,
Ah,
or
there we go.
17th or
Yes, you're right.
13th. I can't, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, people are already starting to receive that, and I believe it's the same ship that will drop cars off in New South Wales at Port Kembla and then come down to Melbourne. So
Hmm.
New South Wales customers are likely to hear, um, when they can receive their car. But hats off to BYD for now that I think that all the teething issues are out of the way. They have delivery centers, they have experience centers. Um, they have the cars that are coming. So I think this is great news.
That's right. And yeah, it's such a nice looking car too. You know, Riz, I was watching the fully charged live review
Oh,
from
I know
Robert
you'll bring
Llewellyn
this
on the
up.
seal. And he noticed, well, he said in his spiel that it was he said it reminded him of the Mercedes EQS. So it sounds like you're in good company, Hollywood Riz. You said the same
Look,
thing live as well.
I had to transfer some money across to Robert Llewellyn via Dogecoin because that's the only thing he accepts to say that. Because I was like, look, my reputation's on the line here because I've said that. No, I think it genuinely is a premium car. Um, BYD has put one into Chadstone. So for anyone that's here in Melbourne, they've got, I think, Atto 3, a seal, sorry, a dolphin and a seal now. And that only happened this week or last week, which is great because anyone that's seeing it on social media, they reckon it's a really premium car with awesome fit and finish. So I think these will do amazingly well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Robert was also very impressed too in the video that I saw. So I mean, I thought I had more time Riz to decide between this and the Highland Model 3. I mean, I thought I had till the new year. But it looks like
Oh,
if they're going to come soon, my goodness, I'm going to have to make a quick decision here.
oh, that's that's right. I think the reality is with both cars, you can't go wrong. They're slightly different. We've spoken about some of the things that the seal is, um, let's just say, missing at the moment. So we're talking about, dash cam Sentry mode. We're talking about, I guess, the Tesla supercharger network, which is fair enough until Tesla
Mm,
fully opens all their sites to non-Tesla EVs. Um, but on the inside, as a car where people spend a lot of their time, it is a lot of car for the money. And
yeah.
I don't know how BYD have done it, but you know, from all the drive impressions that we get, because obviously we can't drive it in Australia yet.
Mm,
I'm sure by next week when people start to receive their cars, there'll be a whole lot of videos up of and people's impressions. So really looking forward to that, how these perform on Australian roads.
yeah, that's right. I personally would like to test drive both cars first. So next week I've got the Model 3, and I'd like to test drive this one first before I take delivery, or if I take delivery of both. So that's kind of trying to make a balanced decision here on both sides. So stay tuned, everyone. I am mulling over it every day, believe you me. Gene says that seals have already landed in Port Kembla. Well done. That's good.
Yay.
And about 160 cars, apparently. You heard it here first. Well, read on
Ooh.
Facebook and then heard here. Let's go back through the comments before we move on, Riz. Some nice comments here from people. So Hal says some brands claim with LFP cycle is to 80% to get the max lifetime cycles. If you charge to 100%, apparently it will increase the degradation. Well, I mean, we know LFP's got a more stable voltage at the top of the
Hmm.
cycle. So that's compared to NMC and NCA, and that shouldn't degrade the battery too much more compared to NMC. But we do that charged 100% for LFP to help calibrate the battery management system. But I guess common sense dictates that it's probably worth not going 100% too often anyway. But again, this is the kind of stuff Riz was saying. We need that kind of hard information from the OEMs. BYD owner says I got a phone call. Okay,
Hey.
nice. Cool. From the seal, I assume. And I agree, Greg. Fully Charged had a good review of the seal. Yeah, Robert had a very good, nice little walk around and drive too. That was very good. And let's keep going with a few more comments. Congratulations, Scott ordered the Polestar long range single motor this week. I think that's a good value car for the Polestar anyway. Scott, well done.
Mm.
Oh, Nikhil's watching from India. Hello, Nikhil. Nice to
Hey.
see you. Welcome. Gaffer saying, mate of mine just picked up his MG4. Very nice. Seeing quite a few BYDs and MGs around Nashville now. Yeah, nice. It's quite a good buy, those MG4s, and of course BYDs as well. I've still
And
got the
obviously,
BYD. Sorry, Riz.
no, you go, Tom.
No, I was just saying I've got the SN64 still, so I'm doing a review this weekend. So stay tuned.
Oh,
Go ahead.
awesome. Yeah, so the New South Wales, of course, the rebate's still available. I think it's a great thing that, more people can get behind the wheels of EVs while, there's a few incentives on. And from the looks of things, even the EV tax is sort of dead. Um, I don't think any state will be adopting that. So hopefully there's no disincentives for people. And while the incentives are there, people should make the most of them. So you'll see plenty of EVs. I'm very interested to see what happens with respect to the sales in November. So, MG last month, I think delivered, or in October, delivered around 750 MG4s. It'd be interesting to see whether that tapers off a bit because of the initial orders, or whether that continues now that it's Car Sales Car of the Year award. It also won that. And same with BYD Dolphin. I know it's been ramping up quite a bit in terms of their deliveries. So yeah, if you can buy one of these cars, get the incentives, do it.
Yeah, I agree. It's such good value, $3,000 off, and I think BYD is offering $500 off the Atto 3 as well, and other brands too. I think there's some more incentives going around, so worth checking out for sure. Andy Vet, hey Andy, joining us from Weiler as always. Thank you. And Gary asks, when's the Cybertruck coming? Yeah, about 2 weeks, Riz, I think. About 2030, something like that.
I've still got mine in my box. It's Hot Wheels branded, but look, I think the delivery event less than a week now, on the 30th. So that should be interesting to see. There's a few rumors this week about the battery pack on the dual motor one, 122 kilowatt hours.
Wow, that's
So
huge.
that's the dual motor one, and that is expected to have around 350 miles of range. And the 500-mile one, which I'm assuming is going to be the tri-motor one, you'd be pushing close to 175, 180 kilowatt hours to
My
get that
goodness.
sort of range.
Wow, that's like a one-stop strategy from Sydney to Melbourne. Easy.
Yeah.
Stop in Albury, you're done. Or even Takata halfway. Amazing. I just keep scrolling through the comments here, and Hal says Model 3 Malaysia arrived 1 month early. Okay, that's not too far away. 1 month early, cool, nice. And Gaffer's agreeing with us here. Batch leases are a great idea for software updates. You don't want to break the entire fleet with one bad update at one go. That's why they do it, and I couldn't agree more. Yes, so I read this week, Jerry says that the BYD PHEV Ute is in Australia for testing. Any sightings, details, release dates? Yeah, a pledge out to our fans and spies out there. If you see anything on the road, snap it, send it, and I will show it. So, and Riz has got his runners on as always. His Riz runners, TM,
That's
as
right.
Gaffer says.
We're doing it.
I did see the Yang Huang get a good run off road on social media this week. The BYD Yang Huang, the big
in the water,
big behemoth. Yeah, like through water, through gravel, through dirt. Pretty cool, actually.
It is. It's very impressive.
Yeah, very rugged. All right, let's keep going. What else have we got here? Yeah, so many choices, Tassie. I agree with you. I am stumped.
Just on the choices front, there's I can't remember the YouTube channel, but it's an Irish gentleman that does a lot of reviews on electric cars, and he's at Fully Charged in Amsterdam, which I think is this weekend, and he did a walk around before the show, and the cars that are there, we've got majority of them already. I was very surprised. So in our market, we have most of the cars that even in Netherlands, I guess, has. There were some out of China, like Ion and others, that I think Fully Charged team purposefully separates them because you can't really buy those cars. But pretty much everything else, apart from those international cars and the micro cars, we have. So I think the number of models in the market is picking up pace, and yes, so many more options.
Yeah, I agree, Riz. And I guess because of our ADR and I guess just general standards and perception in Australia, a lot of the cars will probably get filtered out from China and other companies around the world. We hopefully will just get the best of the best landing in Australia. And you're right, it's good to see some of the brands in Europe are already here. And as you know, this year has been amazing. We've seen so many new brands and models and variants released in Australia. So I think there's a brighter future ahead for 2024 and ahead and beyond. So very much looking forward to it. So Peter says BYD Seal for Australia were already rolling off the production line 2 weeks before it went on sale. So it's no surprise they're about to be delivered to customers. Early December is when deliveries start.
Yeah.
And thanks, Robski. That's a good point. You've already had half a dozen Teslas over the last 9 years already. You would love to see your ownership videos on the BYD for a change. That's probably what's leaning me more towards the Seal at this stage, just between you and me, Riz, and everyone else watching. I mean, I can objectively, compare the two vehicles, no problem. But at the end of the day, I do want to do new content and sort of branch out a bit more and show what the experience is like owning a BYD, which I don't think many people have covered in Australia, to such detail yet. So that's something I'd like to do.
And I think it's also a good thing as well to, sort of look at what other options are there. For example, the Spectre I'm in at the moment has this heads-up display, and I have to say I'm really impressed by how easy it is to use. And I do miss it when you get back into the Teslas and you don't have the heads-up display functionality. I mean, that technology is pretty cool when it works, and it works really well in this vehicle that I'm in now. So I think the Seal has it. It would be interesting to see what that implementation looks like, and just the overall feel of the car is of the Seal is has been it's a step up from the 2023 and previous models of Model 3.
Yep.
So the Seal would be a good comparison, and that's what people want to see. They want to see what other vehicles are out there if, let's say, I don't want a Tesla, or what other options are there, and there aren't too many, and I think Seal's probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, correct. I only saw the Seal briefly in the party mood lighting when we were there, Riz, that night. So I need to go back there to Alexandria to have another look. Riz, I can't even tell you're joking anymore. Are you actually in the Spectre? You said that with such a straight face.
Look, it's a Spectre that's made by our friends from Bavaria, the Bavarian Motorworks. It's actually rebranded as the i5.
Okay,
So
wow. Same sort of OEM, right?
yeah, actually, doesn't BMW make Rolls-Royce?
I don't know.
I
I
think
can't.
they
I'm not
own
losing
them.
track. There you
Yeah,
go.
I think oh yeah, I lose track as well. So maybe it is basically a poor man's Spectre. That's what I mean.
Oh, come on. Hollywood Riz, you can't say that about yourself. Give yourself more credit, please. Gaffer says, I saw a tweet out of the UK today. Starting today, all new chargers going in must have tap and go option.
Ooh.
Yeah, great. All old chargers must have the option within 12 months. Hey, that's the way to do it. We need that tap and go. Surely we've had enough data over the last, 2-3 years, whatever. Tassie Thylacine, I'm so looking forward to the new Kona EV has changed for the better. Lots of more tech and space. So I want to shout out to Tassie. He was actually there with me at the Melbourne EV show, and he actually did a walk around with me of the Kona EV. So make sure you check out that video, my Melbourne EV show walk around, and he was there midway through. So thank you for that. But look, I will touch on this a little bit because I was at the launch this week in Canberra. Let me just scroll down to, here we go. So I can't talk too much about the Kona because I'm on embargo, but I was allowed to share video and footage and pictures of the Kona, but I wasn't allowed to talk about the drive impression and also the pricing, which I honestly don't know anyway. They didn't tell me, so I can't even tell you. But I agree, Tassie. As you and I know, we were at the Melbourne EV show. It looks a lot better than the old Kona. So I think people of Kona fans and Kona people wanting to buy Kona will be impressed at how much better it has improved compared to the old one. Space saver tires you can see in the back, so that's very rare for an EV. So I think it's definitely worth checking out for sure. I can only speculate at the price. So I mean, you look at the Atto 3 is probably the most similar sized vehicle, and that's 51 for the extended range. And then you've got the Model Y, so the late 60s. So it's probably going to fall somewhere in between, I would think, Riz, just speculating.
Yeah, and the new Ionic 5 that they've got now, that you can get for around 64,000 plus on roads, I think it is. So it has to be sort of around, mid to late 50s, I think, for it to have a reasonable shot at. It is a great car. It looks really good. It's when Hyundai launched the Kona as a vehicle, including the ICE models, they reckon they took inspiration by designing the electric one first, although it's the last one to land. But yeah, I think it will be a good car. Having driven the Kia e-Niro earlier in the year, I think this will be a step up from that as well. So a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, that's right. So they took great pains to tell me that yes, it was definitely ground up EV, and the ICE and the PHEV has been designed off that platform, and that's for me that's great because that shows Hyundai is actually serious about EVs moving forward. So yeah, thanks again to Hyundai Australia for inviting me to that launch. I feel very privileged indeed. So stay tuned. 1st of December is the embargo, and I'll have a video to drop on that day. So stay tuned. All right, cool. Let's take a little break and just thank our sponsors midway through the stream, and that is Carloop, Wallbox, and Evee. Thank you to those three sponsors. Once again, check out Wallbox and Evee discount codes in the video description below. Evee for EV car sharing to check out what a Tesla or an EV feels like to drive for a few days, and Wallbox for a nice wall connector for your home. They've got the Pulsar Max as well, which does solar charging, which is very, very easy to use. So thank you to those sponsors. And thank you, Riz from Carloop, as always.
Hey.
Let's take some comments here. So we've got... and... All right. So yes, Jasper's saying, Riz, correct, BMW do run Rolls-Royce. There you go. And Jean's right. I still have a Model Y. Well, Joy does, my wife, so I can definitely still update people on what Tesla's doing. So no problem there. Oh, okay. That's a bit of a troll there. BYD have added an additional line up to their Rust red. I mean, there was some talk about Rust around some of their fittings earlier, but that sort of died down a bit. Riz, I think, isn't it?
But is there a genuinely new color? Like, is there like a darker color? I don't know.
Oh, I mean, there is a red, but is there actually Rust? Is it called Rust red?
Well,
You're not
Rust
trolling, right,
red
Billy?
could be that real, like the original Model S is the darker maroon type of. I don't know. Maybe there is.
Don't know. It's definitely a red. It looks pretty good. I saw that before. Okay, let's go through some more comments. So there was a talk about, here we go. So Greg said, with all these new EVs arriving, has there been any meaningful EV charger rollout from Evee or ChargeBox? I mean, say 6 to 10 chargers in one location like Tesla, or is it still 2 to 4 chargers? I mean, there are 6 chargers, I think, at the Mint in Canberra, Kempower chargers.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything more than probably 4 plugs, so 2 chargers. Obviously, I think Ampol and Pheasant's Nest, they've got 4, so 12 plugs.
It's actually 9, I think, Riz. I think
9.
6
Sorry,
balls,
maybe
9 plugs.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. No one else. That Aubrey site that BP, I think Jason from Tech AU put out there with 28 charges. I think it's really early days for those, but no one else that I've heard of is doing sort of anything more than, I guess, 2 physical charges.
Yeah, John's saying part of the issue is installing or upgrading the power supply too. I mean, Tesla seem to be doing it okay, so there must be something they're doing right. Yeah, I agree with you, John. Make sure that's sorted. Yeah, Joe's got a comment here. Call me biased, but I really wish some of the Indian EVs could make it here. Lots of options and extremely affordable, even compared to Chinese EVs. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing some of those too, if it meets our standards, of course. Yeah, happy to test them too. Right, and yeah, I mean, Greg, I would too. I've reached out to BMW Mercedes quite a few times. I don't have quite the same standing as Hollywood Riz, so I would love to test the BMW or Mercedes one of these days.
Look, when I was sitting in the back of this car, I nearly tripped over the transmission tunnel there. But it's Mercedes and BMW are very interesting because Mercedes in particular, they're not even doing any launches anymore. They just like how they've launched EQE, the EQS. It's strange. Like they will have the cars in the dealerships before they'll do an actual launch or create a bit of a buzz behind it. It's like they don't want to sell cars. BMW is a little bit different. I think they have been doing launches. They have been making a lot more announcements. They've got a few versions of the iX1, the iX3 that are going to be coming under the luxury car tax threshold and FBT requirements. And I think they have the BMW iX2 that will be launching in Q1 next year. So they are starting to bring more smaller electric vehicles into the market. iX1, I think, even though it's based off an ICE platform, it has 22 kilowatt AC charging. This i5 has 22 kilowatt AC charging. I tested it yesterday.
Okay.
That could be it charges pretty quickly on the AC charge if you have that three-phase 22 kilowatt charger. So yeah, they've been a bit slow to the game, but I think they're catching up very quickly, both Mercedes and BMW.
Yeah, cool. I mean, obviously they're well-known luxury vehicles, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Bring out some good products in the next few years. Yeah, I mean, 22 kilowatts is huge, right? I mean, it's like double the speed of a Model 3, Model Y. So you could potentially charge that battery within a few hours, easy. So Diesel Collie says, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be Tesla Tom, BMW Tom, Mercedes Tom, Spectre Tom, whatever. The BYD Tom, Hyundai Tom. I'm all open. Okay, let's keep going with the chat here. Yeah, Tazzie's saying from his experience at the show for the Kona, it's going to be a good upgrade. I agree. Price is everything, of course. Yeah, so I mean, Greg, to be fair with the embargo, they're still working out the price. I mean, they actually, because everyone's been reducing their price, BYD, Tesla, this has actually forced more competitive pricing from Hyundai and Kia as well, which is a good thing. I'm happy with that. We need more affordable EVs.
Yeah.
Kevin say good afternoon or good evening, sorry, from Florida. Well done. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, technical question, gents. Does battery percentage level impact 0 to 100 speeds? 30% and 70% battery, would that Model 3 rear-wheel drive be impacted? I mean, I know from having test driven the Kia EV6 GT, they do recommend that you have the battery at a fairly high state of charge and preconditioned. So I think, Riz, I think it probably does impact power coming from the battery.
Yeah, I think it does. And for those that sort of want to see the real differences, have a look at Beyond Nyland's videos on YouTube. Every car he tests, he does an acceleration test and a braking test with. And generally speaking, higher states of charge means it's optimum to do that as well. I think there's some figures going around that every time a Model 3 Performance does a quarter mile, it loses about 1 or 2%. Because that's just what it needs to be able to propel a car that fast. So it would be really interesting to once again, more information from manufacturers.
Yeah, because I mean that sort of fits with what I've experienced just on a smaller level. I had the MG4 Excite last week, and now I've got the MG4 Essence 64. I have noticed too, like this one is a bit zippier. I know it's the same power coming from the motor, it's 150 kilowatts, but it's the smaller battery pack. I don't know if there's any difference having an LFP 51 kilowatt hours versus a 64 kilowatt hour NMC.
I think there is a different motor.
There is.
I think the base model has a 125 kilowatt motor versus a 150 on the mid spec one, and then 180 on the top spec one, I think, from memory.
Okay, so that makes sense because yeah, I mean this one just feels like it's handling a lot better, or a lot like tighter with the road. So I'll have to double check the specs before I do that review. So thanks, good to know. So Jerry Can asks, is Riz able to give a monthly update of EV truck sales? Okay, maybe he's got that data.
Interesting point. There was I am going to be covering that a bit more. Some of our fleet customers, because they're starting to transition their electric trucks or think about them. Photon this week just announced that they've been in the market for about a year, and they make those light trucks, the kind for IKEA deliveries and Woolworths and the rest of it. They have announced that they've had over 200 orders for their trucks this year, and next year is going to be even bigger. So I guess truck sales, electrified trucks, are getting more and more. I saw an IKEA truck yesterday. It had like sort of the Photon mud guards, so you could tell. So yeah, these trucks are kind of getting out there. So I'll try and compile some stuff in the coming weeks and months, and hopefully be able to share it with everyone.
Yeah, that's good to see. I mean, I've been seeing some of the Woolies trucks around too, around Sydney's doing deliveries. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff we need. More commercial type vehicles. So that's good. Photon doing some good things here. Excellent. Yeah, it'd be great to see some data too, Riz, from Carloop. So thank you for that.
Hey.
It's quite a funny comment here. Some polys are calling for cash and coin options. No, that's definitely a no for these chargers. Please, we can't go back to that. I just can't. Okay, so let's keep going there. JD Media asks, thoughts on Kia EV5 launching in China for approximately 32,000 Australian dollars equivalent. Wow, that's good value for a decent sized mid SUV EV. Do you see this vehicle being a trigger for cheaper EVs in Australia next year when launched?
I think from BYD's point of view, if BYD can land or lower the prices on their Atto 3 to under 50,000, then it will really push everyone to lower their prices as well. So yeah, I think it's I don't think Luke Todd was wrong when he announced the prices of the Seal and said the Seal sets a new benchmark in the type of EVs that are bought into the market, because that is sort of under 50 grand. That's what Australian market has now. So hopefully, if Kia's listening, I'd say it would need to be around sort of the early to mid 50s mark for it to have a real impact on the sales in Australia.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I haven't seen the EV5 in person. I've definitely seen the Kona. In terms of quality, I'll have to sort of look at that comparison-wise. We know the EV9 is 100K, so yeah, if the EV5 is the same trim and quality, it may be higher than that, Riz. So I guess we'll have to see in person what it looks like. Thanks, Tassie. Yes, 137 people viewing now. So yes, thank you for hitting the like button, everyone. Gaffer saying stats app showing that 2023.44.1 has just been detected for Tesla. SWS saying seal the deal. Yep. Tassie Thalasson also says Bjorn just did a range test on the new Kona, and at 5% it went to turtle mode and speed and power was substantially reduced. Yeah, had to put the hazard lights on. A lot of OEMs do that. Did the range test for the what was it? The Atto 3, and I think the same thing happened at 5%. It went into turtle mode. I could only get like 10 kilowatts of power. It was hopeless, but better than nothing, I suppose, to try and preserve the battery, to limp to the next charger. Yep, Gene, I agree with you. Definitely performance drops down to that low 10%. Okay, so yep, Robski confirms Riz. Excite 51 is 125 kilowatt motor, weakest motor of the MG4 range. Okay, so it's not just me. I thought I was imagining things, but yeah. Again, I did cop a little flack for the review of the 51. I mean, Riz and I went to Canberra with that car, and at the time I thought, yes, fantastic vehicle. But of course, obviously, we were very excited by the car. It does the job, right? Yes, it zips down the highway, no problem. But yeah, had to be more discerning with the subsequent review. And now the essence is here. Yeah, it's definitely a much better improvement, much better experience. So stay tuned. I've got that video coming up next week for the essence. Billy did another battery question. If the back gets exhausted, does this degrade the battery pack? I asked this as my Model Y is stuck off the Queensland coast. Well, it's kind of conflicting, Billy, because Tesla officially in their manual says, do not let this drop to 0% because it will damage the battery. But then you've got other people on social media, and I think Bjorn might say this too, like it doesn't actually affect the battery too much, dropping it to 0. It might be inconvenient for you being stranded somewhere, but I don't think it's a problem as such. I think it's more of an issue leaving it 100% for a long time. That's worse for the battery. So again, this is the kind of info we need from the OEMs, that hard facts. So JD says, also, Tom, with the MG464, you'll get better torque acceleration, which I've been experiencing once the car is up to speed with a bigger motor, but also heavier than 51 Excite. Say 30 to 100 should be zippier. Then again, the NMC battery is more dense, so I don't think there's much difference in weight either between that and the Excite. Okay, cool. Riz, let's move on to another story. I think you shared this one with me today, so let's have a look. So this is the BYD company seeing the 6 millionth new energy vehicle rolling off their production line. So new energy vehicles, hybrids and electrics as well.
Yeah, so it's there seem to be every couple of months now they're adding 1 million on top of what they've produced, and it's getting faster and faster. So BYD now is obviously producing so many different models, plug-in hybrids, fully electric vehicles as well. Um, I think the fact that they've got plug-in hybrids, it's not such a bad thing because those models can be electrified, as in come in fully electric options. So yeah, they're moving into the four-wheel drive territory. They've got the Utes, they've got the smaller cars, they've got the micro cars, they've got the Atto 3s, the Sea Lions, pretty much anything and everything. So it's getting better and better in terms of their lineup, and they're producing faster as well. So 6 million cars is a lot of cars. So yeah, good to see that happening, and hopefully that translates to some fully electric models in new models in 2024 and beyond in Australia.
Yeah, that's right. And we're seeing the what was it, the CLU, I think, in
Yeah,
Australia for testing, engineering testing, getting camouflaged around. So yeah, I mean, as you said, it's good to have all types, and then they can fully electrify them too as well. It's great as long as they've got EVs in mind, which they definitely do, for their fleet. Yeah, sorry, Gaff. I hit my laptop there. That's why a bit of a glitch. Um, gave myself away. This is the Matrix behind me. You saw my real world behind me there. So Tesla drops the state of charge to 0 when they do a state of health test. Yeah, there you go. They do actually drop it to 0. That's true in the service mode. I've done those tests before. And there must be some reserve there. Ray says the battery is never really 0%. The car tries to make it go to a lowest of, say, 1% to protect it from chemical physical issues.
I may be wrong, but from memory, I think even Elon's put out a X or a tweet back in the day around how much reserve they've actually still got under that. So yeah, it should be interesting to see. But as we say, more manufacturers sort of need to put a bit out of the information around batteries.
Yep. So Graham's saying that, that bao translates as bag. Well, I mean, from my rudimentary Mandarin, bao actually means, if it's the same word, bao means pouch, not just bag. So it's like a vessel container, bao,
Oh.
like char siu bao, like the pork buns you get from Yum Cha, right? So yeah, I don't know whether it's like they call it bao because it's a vehicle, it's a nice vessel to carry stuff, people. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to see this car in Australia, but Riz, we might have to head over to China one day and actually check it out ourselves, Elliot
Well,
style.
yeah, next should be quite good to see in person as well. They're four-wheel drives, and hopefully some of them are fully electric. Because at the moment, I think a few of them are the plug-in hybrid technology. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing them in person.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move on to this one. Our good friend Ron from Zapped AU. So we've got he spotted the Mustang marquee in northwest Sydney with Victoria plates.
Oh yeah.
Presume it's either a press car, someone's doing a long test drive, or new owner on a road trip. So, I mean, Ford has reached out to me in the past. I just couldn't make their launch of the marquee, but they did say I could borrow one. So I probably got enough press cards for now, but hopefully in the new year I can reach out again and actually drive one of these ponies around Sydney and see whether it's actually got the Mustang spirit, Riz. Hopefully we do.
Yeah.
I saw a car the other day that's got the same sort of teeth-looking back lights. Obviously, that's the Q from Mustang. Which car was it? Was it one of the Kias has got that? I can't remember.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, but that is like Mustang, like style.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's good to see. So keep those pictures coming if you spot anything that you think might be of worth showing on the stream. Would love to put that up for you guys. Thank you. Greg has got some information for us. So Audi ended production of the TT this week, the Audi TT. That would have been a great model for EV. Two-door coupe. Are there any two-door sports cars coming? Maybe the Porsche Boxster. Yeah, that would be cool.
There is that MG Cyberstar, which is not really,
Yes.
I don't know if you'd call it a sports car.
Hypercar?
Then, yeah, I think Porsche is working on an equivalent 911 or something similar to that. But yeah, apart from that, the Roadster, when and if that ever comes out. Um, but TT was a bit of an iconic car for Audi for many years, and obviously they learned a lot with Porsche, sort of all the of designing Porsche cars and trying to implement some of that technology in there. So yeah, bit of a milestone or a moment. Oh yeah,
Oh, right. Great point. Mazda RX-7, RX-8, like that's a classic car, so that
they
would be awesome.
well, apparently something's just been announced. Some RX-8 rotary with some electric thing.
No,
Just this
really?
week, I think. Yeah. I think this week or a couple of weeks ago. So there's a new
Okay,
Mazda RX-7 or RX-8, whatever they're going to call it, a rotary with some electric battery, some sort of a hybrid.
okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, this is the style of that vehicle is a classic car. I was close to wanting to get one, like way back for we had kids, but no, unfortunately, no. Maybe an EV I'll get one day. That would be cool. Jerry Can, great presentation on the Electrochemical Society YouTube page on NCM versus LFP. Oh, that'd be a good
Oh,
one. Worth watching. Yeah, I wouldn't mind checking that out after the stream. Yes, you're right, Gene. Steel U is PHEV, correct? I mean, Gaffer, that they have done an EV Mazda, a Mazda CX. No, was it MX M30
MX-30?
or something? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. With the suicide doors, they got pulled from the US lineup, I think, last year or this year, from
Yeah,
memory.
it's yeah, I
Not
don't
sure if
know
they're
what's
still
going to
selling.
happen to the Japanese brands. I
Mhm.
really want, Daihatsu, some of the smaller car brands to make K cars, electrify them. Daihatsu did a deal with CATL. Fingers crossed that means something. China is making a lot of small, micro, and mini cars as well. But obviously, sports cars is the territory that a lot of these Chinese brands are starting to get into. Zeekr with their huge performance Zeekr X? Oh no,
Mm,
Zeekr 009,
yes.
which has a Kimi Raikkonen mode.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, it's a quad motor, 1200 plus horsepower, 0 to 100 in under 2 seconds type of a car, or just over 2 seconds. Just ridiculous. So there's,
Did he put?
the Chinese are, huh?
Oh, did he put his name to that? Did
Yeah,
he?
he's their advisor, the Zeekr's chief
Oh, that's awesome.
racing advisor or something. So look, it's happening.
There you go, Zika 001. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, definitely need more of these type of cars. Imagine a Honda Civic EV one day. That's a
Hmm.
classic car too. People like souping that up. Need more of those. Um, Here we go. And how just working through a running cost per kilometer chart for all EVs at this stage, the Model 3, due to its efficiency and low cost, is a clear lead at 20% less to run than the next best. Okay. Thanks, Hal. That's good. And Peter says, I'm referring to the Kia Sorento that has the similar rear lights to the Ford E
Ah,
Mustang. That's what I was
that's
seeing.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter. That's very helpful. So that's what I saw on the roads. Um, Must be the new one. I'm not seeing any pics online of it. Yep. Thank you. Okay. All right, gents, we might leave it there, and we'll do a few more comments. MX-30 was a joke. It was a tick box for the US, and MX-30 was compliance. Yeah, definitely was a
Maybe
classic. The RX-7. Yep.
maybe the MX-40 will be not a compliance car, and we'll be able to see more of them on the road.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right, Ray. I mean, a Toyota Corolla EV is, that'd be great.
It's
Obviously,
it's
that's.
there already. It's called the uh, Toyota BZ3 in China
Oh, okay.
with BYD's drivetrain and motors and power electronics and everything. It's just a reskinned BYD with the Toyota badge on it.
Yeah, and Toyota are bringing out their was it BZ
Z4X.
whatever BZ4X in Australia next year. So we'll see. All right, Riz, we might wrap it up there. So yeah, thanks so much again for joining us as always. Yeah, have fun today at the Tesla, launch for the Model
Showroom,
3,
yeah.
the
It
showroom.
should
So
should be should be a good one. I can see people have started to arrive already, so I'll check that out. And yeah, looking forward to Tom's test drive next week of the new Highland, one of the first test drives in the country. So yeah, awesome, big week for you, Tom. You've had the Model 3, you've had the Kona as well, and you've been test driving the MG4. So bringing all the latest content out here.
yeah, that's right. Do my best. Busy, but no, it's good. Good to see more EVs on the road. Thanks, Riz. Thanks, everyone, and have a great week next week. We'll see you on Wednesday night, as always. As always, a Ludicrous Feed. Take care. Bye for now.
Yeah.